Aloha, welcome to another episode of Omens. This one's sure to be hot. I hope you guys are ready for some interesting stuff happening around the world. Many things we've kind of been talking about, right? Because they're prophecies, basically. Prophecies being fulfilled. Good to see everybody in the chat. Where is the chat? Hold on, let me just pull the chat up. Hey, good to see everybody in the chat. I see everybody there. All right, let's jump right into some of these stories. This is really interesting stuff that's happening. Oh, before I do that, actually, I want to give a huge shout out. I have a PO box, for fan mail or whatever people want to, if they want to write letters or send stuff. And I have an anonymous letter that was written. Whoever drew this, by the way, okay, it's totally anonymous, but they drew a picture of this horse. If this is you, I just want to say thank you. This letter made my night. I almost cried. It was a really good letter. So I just want to say thank you. Whoever you are out there in, I think it was Florida, thank you very much for your kind words. Really just made my day. All right, so let's jump right into things. The world's going nuts. The world's going crazy, okay? Everything, all of the signs, all the apocalypse signs and omens and harbingers of things to come. God, man, I'm so glad that I'm honored, and I feel privileged that I'm able to, look at these things and examine them and read them and feel a sense of comfort. I know some people might feel panicky because of the signs or, knowing that the apocalypse is near. But this is why we talk about this. The more that we educate ourselves, the more we inform ourselves and we independently research these things and put our minds together collectively and compare notes, the more, I promise you, you're going to feel better about the signs and the omens and the apocalypse being on the way and stuff, because it will shed light into the darkness. It will give you confidence. You'll feel much better and prepared, at the very least, mentally or emotionally. So with that being said, let's jump into these. Triple-digit ocean temperatures in Florida could be a global record. So this is super interesting. I'm not gonna play that video, but the ocean is up in the triple digits. A comfortable range for your jacuzzi or your hot tub is like 102 degrees. The ocean around Florida, as you'll see in some other articles, is getting up towards 101, almost 102. It's hot tub temperature in this particular part of the ocean. It might be that way in other parts of the ocean, but at least around Florida, it's boiling hot. Why is that a sign and an omen? Well, one, we've all heard that the oceans will boil. I'm not sure if they'll get so hot that they will actually boil. It's possible. I have a different theory about the oceans bubbling and the churning of the ocean, as is written in the ancient Vedic scripts and the Hindu writings that talk about the churning of the ocean and how it becomes white because of all of the bubbles that are actually inside of it. But the ocean getting a lot hotter is going to be a huge domino that pushes over, that touches all of these other dominoes. Hold on, let me just make sure people can hear me in the chat. All right, it looks like everybody's good, so I'm assuming that you guys can hear me. All right, cool. So the ocean water is getting super hot. What that's doing is it's going to have implications on other areas of life. From the algae that was growing that we'll talk about, to the coral reefs and stuff. In Phoenix, I just typed in Phoenix, and it says Phoenix temperature hits 110 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona, in the United States right here. 110 degrees for the 25th consecutive day. A brand new record. Now, I was listening to some videos earlier, and people are starting to say stuff like, you're going to have to get used to, this is our new normal. New normal is abnormal, okay? Don't let them fool you with this new normal garbage. It's not normal whatsoever, and it's a sign. It's an omen. It's abnormal, okay? Whenever the temperatures are 110 degrees for a month straight, that's abnormal. I mean, it's normal for it to be hot in the summertime or warmer in the summertime, but not like this, right? People are posting pictures of crayons that are on the sidewalk melting on the ground. The emergency rooms are packed full of people who simply just fell on the ground and fried their skin, burning their skin. That's how hot it's getting. And that's in Phoenix. Now, the whole Phoenix thing is also a sign and an omen in and of itself that the Phoenix is rising. The Phoenix itself, which is the plasma that shoots up out of Mount Meru and spreads its aura-like wings, the Thunderbird, etc. The Phoenix is getting ready. The Phoenix is building up energy. It's getting hotter and hotter. That's the omen that I'm reading into this. It says Phoenix is slammed with the record 24th straight day of temperatures over 110 degrees. 24 straight days. And other places are just as hot, right? Other places are breaking records around the world. Las Vegas had their record of 10 days in a row of the hottest they've ever had. Denver weather has near record heat with isolated storms. Phoenix breaks record heat. There's the Phoenix symbolism again. Phoenix is too hot for some baby birds as the heat wave persists. People, this is the beginning. I'm telling you, this is the beginning. This is just a nuisance right now. People are agitated right now, which, by the way, the increasing pressure and heat in our world is going to actually lead to physical agitation of animals, insects, and humans. Okay. And when that happens, they swarm. It's just a natural response. It's the same thing that molecules do when they heat up. They also start to swarm around and they become, jostled and stuff like that. But, with insects, it creates swarming, right? So you see a lot more swarms. You've already seen some that we've talked about in this omen segment with the grasshoppers and locusts and other types of insects that are already swarming all over the place. Gnats. Remember there was some weird gnat swarm in like New York or something? And then the animals will swarm, and the humans, when we swarm, it's called war. We just go to war. So keep your eye out. That's what the Bible talks about when it mentions to pay attention for wars and rumors of wars, right? I also would keep your eye on the Arctic being of particular interest when it comes to the next gigantic war. All right, so Phoenix is in the news. Let me close a couple of these out. All right, boom. Phoenix is super hot. Too hot for some birds. That's interesting. Wow. Face kinis? What? I didn't even see this. Bizarre face kinis, like a bikini for your face. Fashion craze hits China beaches amid record heat. This is ridiculous. Like, we are in a movie, I swear. Like, aliens have to be watching us eating popcorn. There's probably an alien JayDreamerZ out there doing a truth in movies on Earth right now. About Earth, basically. Extreme heat could affect whether or not your flight takes off. That's one of the reasons why I was late today, by the way. I usually do this a little earlier, but there's a couple reasons. One is because I'm doing laundry and somebody totally turned off my washing machine and it didn't wash anything. So I'm still doing laundry as we speak. But the other thing is that I saw this guy pull in to a gas station with a horse trailer in tow. He had hitched up a horse trailer to the back of the truck and left the horses in the sun while he parked his truck in the shade, to get gas or whatever. Then he went into the store and I'm just sitting there watching, because I'm listening to these horses. I can hear many animals speak. Okay. When even though they're speaking in their own animal languages, these horses were screaming. These horses were begging for help. Okay. You don't have to believe me on that one, but these horses were begging me for help. They saw me. This horse was sticking its big old horse eye out of the window and it looked like it was going to cry. This horse was, being cooked in the back of this trailer. And, I had called the police, asked if they could help or do anything about that. And they were basically like, no, we're not going to help out or whatever. And, it just blew my mind, man, that people they're not considering animals amid all of this heat. I asked them hey, if a dog is locked in a car in 110 degree heat, are you allowed to break the windows? They're like, yeah, if you want to go to jail, you could break the windows. I'm like, okay, so you can't save it? I'm like, well, what do I do? And they say, well, you need to call the non-emergency number. I'm like, non-emergency? What if it was a baby in the back of the car? They're like, well, you would have to call 911 for that. I'm like, all right, so if it's a baby, call 911. If it's a puppy, just call the non-emergency number and, wait 30 minutes or whatever. Anyways, that's one of the reasons why I was late. The Earth is screaming at us. Boom. The Earth is screaming at us. Some governor calls for climate action, but listen, there's action. We're about past the action point. Okay. Everyone's going to just start panicking and be like, we need to do something, but it's too late. You've been given chance after chance after chance. And I say you, but I mean that in general. Humanity has been afforded so many chances that I personally have witnessed in the few years that I've been alive on this world. We've had our chances. Okay. The world has not taken advantage collectively of the chances that we've been given. So the earth is screaming at us. That's also a sign and an omen for the earth actually screaming whenever it releases all of the pressure from the inside, and the gases that are released become ionized and blast out of volcanoes and cavernous systems and stuff like that, caves. It will make a sound. Okay, everyone's going to hear it. Okay, the world will sing the song. People who ignored it all the way up until that time will hear it actually manifest. They'll hear the earth scream, sing, however you want to call it, and it'll be very loud. And when the atmosphere depressurizes, it'll also be very loud. Let's see. All right, we're going to skip past that one. Record heat returns to New Mexico. Okay, so there's record heat is everywhere, basically. Record heat all over the place. The world's getting hotter. Now, if you're new to my channel, it's my belief, based on my research, that the sun is heating up. Okay, and I talk a lot about the physics behind why and how the sun is heating up, because it's nearby. It's not billions of miles away, or however far they say it is. But it's heating up. It's getting hotter. And that point of focus up there in our sky is causing daylight to get shorter and shorter, which is giving us the biblical prophecy that Jesus said to watch out for, which was called the shortening of the days. The daytime, and therefore the years and stuff, they become shorter and shorter and shorter. So that's why people are like, oh, I feel like last week passed by so fast. I feel like today went by fast. I feel like I don't have time to do anything, because you don't. And they're messing with the clocks and all of the automatic updating of clocks and stuff. This one says the Atlantic ocean current system could collapse this century from climate change. Now they say this century, you know what I mean? Like, to generate a little bit of concern. However, this is just like the movie The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal. Whenever they have that climatologist have to bring out an apocalyptic model, and he says this is not happening this century, this is happening like now, basically. I mean, at first he was saying that it was, you know, if they don't hurry up, it could happen in the next 100 years. Listen, this stuff's all happening exponentially. Okay, exponential means not a gradual increase, and we have plenty of time to work it all out. It means like the alarms are going off now. Okay, like all this stuff is happening right now, so it's something that should be of concern, you know, to those who care about it. It's of concern to me. 100% coral mortality was found at the Florida Keys Reef due to rising ocean temperatures, basically. So we talked about the ocean becoming hotter and hotter. The sun is getting hotter and hotter. Obviously, it's shining on the ocean, and the ocean temperature is also increasing, right, into triple digits, like we talked about, which is killing off the coral reef. The coral reefs will start to die off. Little other types of algae and what is it called? Phytoplankton, right? We'll start to eat all of the dead things. So the ocean's going to start becoming, changing colors as it fills with algae. We'll talk about that more in just a bit. Here's the polar vortex. Look at that. That's not how it's supposed to be a ring. Okay, just in case you don't know what that is. When it's normal, okay, when it's acting the way it should act and we have normal weather patterns, this does not look like a serpent around the earth, okay? This is not supposed to look like that, which is an omen and a sign, okay? It's danger, basically. The serpent is encircling our world, starting to move about, but it's supposed to just be a straight line around. Now, this is not my cosmology. This happens to be the picture that they show you of the globular version. There's the North Pole right up there with no land. But anyway, this is extreme, okay? So you have all this is the jet stream, basically, and you have it going way up and then sinking way far down, which is also bringing those auroras way far down too. And this is like we talked about. When we talked about the sun heating up there in the sky, it's going to drag a path, okay? This is all following the heat path of the sun that's going around as well. But it's going to heat up all of these air currents, the jet stream, and there's some other, cellular structures for how the wind moves around the world and stuff. But those are all heating up, and they're going into flux. And when they do that, we're going to get extreme weather like we have it now. You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. or the flame of the first flame of the fire. I don't know. But anyways, we're just seeing it now. What that means is not just extreme heat, especially during the summertime, but extreme cold, extreme rain, and extreme precipitation, and extreme electrical storms, and extreme hurricanes, and extreme and not just extreme, but more hurricanes and tornadoes, and more dangerous. You're going to see more casualties and stuff popping up as this gets worse, as it increases exponentially, more and more and more as time goes on, not gradually. This is an exponential shift that we're going through. Now we're going to shift gears. The world's first boomerang meteorite, a rock that left Earth, spent a millennia in space, and then returned, possibly discovered in the Sahara Desert. So this is mostly garbage, but I do see an omen and a sign in this particular article. All of the rocks are from Earth that come down. Okay, like, I don't know, there could be some that got stuck up there during the last depressurization of our atmosphere when space rocks from other worlds, didn't quite make it past the buoyancy flip point, or whatever it is, that keeps things floating up there. But anyways, like, I believe that we lived in a closed system. Our world is a closed system. It's not just, you could just keep on going and you just reach space and there's, the atmosphere just sticks to the world, or whatever that ridiculous concept they believe in. That's not my concept. If it's yours, that's totally fine. I respect however people see things, but I'm sharing with you how I see things. Okay. Earth rocks. So whenever the world depressurizes, it sucks up boulders, rocks, mud, debris, water. All of this stuff gets sucked up into the highest parts of our sky, and then many of them become petrified, like mud. We'll go up there and it'll look like weightless, how you would imagine water being, or mud, or whatever, way out there in the upper reaches of the atmosphere. And whenever a huge stream of electrified plasma hits that, it petrifies all that mud into boulders. Those boulders, some of them escape and are eaten by Kronos, which is exactly how the ancient legend goes of the god Kronos who ate his children, right? And then he wanted to eat Zeus, but his mother hid Zeus in a cave in a mountain, which is Mount Meru, and instead wrapped a rock in swaddling cloth and threw it up to Kronos, and Kronos sucked everything up and ate this rock, and then he like choked on it, allegedly, and he spat it back out. So that's going to happen. Kronos, which is the depressurization point in our sky, is going to suck everything up, and including rocks and stuff, which will actually be created. Many of them will be created up there in the sky. And this is why you see so many random boulders strewn across the land. Some of it comes from the waters. Whenever the waters come in, when we have the worldwide flood, which you don't have to worry about it in my perspective, okay? I believe that we're going to go through, the apocalypse by fire this time, not by water, because we already have an ocean, right? So the ocean is going to disappear. It's going to get sucked up into the sky. But a lot of boulders are going to be created up there in the atmosphere, and whatever doesn't get sucked out will fall back down, giving us random huge megalithic stones and boulders in strange places, landing in strange ways as they stick into the mud that will harden and back into rock, giving you balancing rocks and stuff, other weird things that future tourists will forget about, and they'll come and take pictures of it and stand next to it and not have any idea where it came from. All right, a supermassive black hole is spitting a high energy jet towards the Earth. This is the high energy jet artist's conception. This is the beam at the North Pole. Okay, this is the omen that we should take away from this, or that I take away from this. This is plasma. Okay, when it says a jet, an energy jet, that is a plasma beam of energy or light. Okay, and it will spiral around exactly how you see here as it shoots up terrestrially from inside of the Earth. Right, there will be other plasma that will be more snake-like, how we see in the polar vortex, like the plasma that descends from above, ionized hydrogen probably, will be more serpentine. Those will give you the fire snakes and serpents and seraphim and all of that stuff. All right, next up, we've got astronomers discover never before seen two-faced star. This is their concept drawing of the two-faced star. I don't care personally about any discovery that they have out there in space or whatever. There's going to be lots of new anomalies that are happening up there in the sky. And when I say sky, I don't mean the space that is beyond the sky. I mean the sky, right? We look up into the darkness. That is the roof of the world. You're looking at a physical shadow that is being cast. That is the roof of the world that is blocking out the light of the heavens, which are bright. That, like, we all know heaven's a bright place, right? All right. Anyways, but it's named after Janus, right? So this right here, this blue ball of plasma is named after Janus, and Janus is the two-faced god, which actually mentions that here in this article a few times. It says the three observatories showed that Janus was rotating on its axis, blah, 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 blah. So they named it Janus, basically. This is really interesting. A lot of things are starting to become named after these gods of old, these ancient ones, but especially Janus being the two-faced god, which is the blue beam that shoots up, spirals up, exactly how you see in this. Well, I think I got rid of that other picture. But that beam of light, that jet of light that we just looked at, right, that spirals up, it's going to have an anode and cathode on either side at the bottom, right, which is going to have an electrical arc that curves up towards Mount Meru, creating the legs of this giant cosmic stick figure, god, entity, deity, whatever. But then that blue beam will provide the body portion, but then it re-splits back off and parts at the top as it gets closer to the sky, or the rim of the world, the bowl of the world, the top of the world, and it splits back off, which creates the D and the C, basically, and it splits off like that. That's the two faces of Janus. Now, if you're depending on where you are in the world, you might see more faces than that, right? Which we've talked about quite a few times. Blue moon. There will be 2 full moons in August, including the closest supermoon until 2025. But I didn't care about all that. All I care about is the blue moon portion of this. When you see a lot of blue moon stuff in there, that's the omen behind that, is that there's only one blue moon. Okay, they name all of these moons like, you know, stuff that they're not. Okay, they'll be like, oh, it's a blue moon tonight. You go and look at it. Is it blue? No, it's not blue. Like, not usually blue. Okay, sometimes due to atmospheric conditions, it could look blue, but to other people who have a different atmospheric conditions, it doesn't look blue at all. It might look orange. It might look white. It might look different, right? Which, by the way, the moon's getting a lot brighter these days. I just want to throw that in there so that you can pay attention and check it out. Next time you're outside at night, look at the moon. I swear, there's got to be more people than just myself who have gone out and said, wow, is it a full moon tonight? You look up and it's only like a crescent or a half or something. It's not even close to a full moon, and my mind is blown. But there's only one blue moon, a true blue moon. That's how I talked about how the sun is turning blue. The moon will reciprocate. The moon will also, because it's the little reflection of the sun, right? According to academics, the moon is going to turn blue. All right, because it's also getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And if you take a look at the light that's cast by the moon, there is a sliver of blue in that light. I promise. Go check it out. All right, so the blue moon, and the reason they say once in a blue moon, by the way, is because it only happens once when the apocalypse comes. Okay, the time right before the apocalypse is when the moon turns blue. After that, it'll turn red. After that, it'll be blood red moon, which is a whole nother story. Whenever the monsters come out and the phantazoids arrive in our world and stuff, and the doors are open between us and the heavens and us and the underworld, etc. But the blue moon, that's why they say once in a blue moon, because it happens when the apocalypse comes. It's hardly ever happens. It takes so long because of the time between apocalypses, right? Which might actually be getting longer. The Pacific's deep sea Grand Canyon has been mapped in unbelievable detail. I also don't really care about them mapping the Pacific that much, but I see an omen. I see a sign in this, which is, like I talked about, when our atmosphere depressurizes because of the increase in pressure in our world right now, that everything is becoming exponentially more pressurized as the gases from within the Earth are released, and the world beneath us is actively releasing their pressure and giving it to us. We inherit all of their pressure, okay? Wow, it looks like a little face. Look at this weird picture. Doesn't that look like a little face? There's like an eye and a nose and a mouth. This is totally a little face. Anyways, that's a crab. I don't know. Anyways, what was my point? Oh, my point is that even in the Bible, it says, there's a prophecy that says that the oceans are going to go away. Okay? I know we're used to them. I know it's hard for us to imagine the earth without oceans, and we just imagine that they'll always be here. No, they won't. Where do you think they came from? Right? They came from somewhere. There was a point in time in the past when there was no ocean on Earth. And it's not a bunch of snowball slushy comets that just slammed into the Earth over millions of years, you know, giving us water from who knows where out there in the vacuum of space or whatever, right? The Earth makes water, okay? The water is created inside of the Earth and up there in the heavens whenever the hydrogen smashes into the oxygen that will fill our world for another age, which is why we don't have to worry about the deluge returning right now, okay? But it will one day. And I did do a whole video on that and a whole video on, you know, retranslating, looking at the correct translation or a more correct translation of the one verse in the Bible where it says, or it implies that, not to me, but to many people, it implies that God said and promised that he would never ever flood the world again. Please go take a look at that video. It's within like the first 10 minutes. I take it to the interlinear version of the Bible and I will show you that word. And break it down that it's not. When you transliterate it and you look at what it originally means, that the words that are used, it does not imply or read that God promised he would never, ever, ever do it again for all of time without end. Okay? But that Noah wouldn't have to worry about it for an age or until the end of the age. It's not going to happen for a long time, basically. Anyways, I did a whole video about that. So the oceans are going to get sucked up into the sky during the depressurization. Buoyancy in our world will increase, just like yesterday during our trivia. We had a fun trivia game yesterday. And I will release the winner's name in the next few days, probably this weekend. Somebody won a copy of my book, which is pretty awesome. I think we'll probably do that again because I had a lot of fun doing that. But anyways, when the world depressurizes and all that pressure is released from our world and sky pops open, it works according to something called Archimedes' principle. And Archimedes' principle basically says that however much fluid or atmosphere up there that is released into the heavens as our world depressurizes or the atmosphere depressurizes will be equal to an increased buoyant force from underneath. This will be zero gravity on Earth during the next apocalyptic cycle that we go through. So what that means for most of the world's oceans is that they're going bye-bye, okay? Imagine all of these deep sea Grand Canyons and stuff, all of the treasures that are sunken all the way down at the bottom of the ocean, all of the new lands that will reemerge when the survivors go and explore the old ocean bottoms and settle there and stuff, which, by the way, you know, if that's your thing, that's awesome. But do keep in mind, you might want to come on back to the higher regions before the next flood. Okay. So anyways, the oceans will be removed, and just imagine the alien looking Earth that we will have, the huge mountains and the huge canyons that are way bigger than up here at the higher elevations, way down in the recesses of the darkness of the ocean, right? Those things will be available for everybody to explore when you survive the plasma apocalypse. A photographer captures SpaceX rocket punching a hole in the atmosphere. Here's a picture of the alleged event. Okay, that's also what the auroras look like whenever they come way down. The pressure is increasing and it's pushing these things way down. All of that ionized hydrogen and stuff in the upper atmosphere is getting lower and lower. But the omen behind this is punching a hole in the atmosphere. Okay, a hole in the sky. Okay, you can't really have a hole in the atmospheres, I guess, you know, it's kind of nothing. Like, I mean, it's got, you know, gas and stuff like that. But the omen behind this is that there will be a black hole that opens up in the actual physical sky, because that's what holes are. They're empty portions within physical objects. So all this talk of like a black hole in space, you mean a hole in nothing? That is a hole. Like, according to the modern academic teachings, space is a big old hole. You can't have a hole in a hole. That's just ridiculous, right? I mean, doesn't that just, you know, let's be sensible about that, okay? Black holes, okay, are whenever the skies depressurize on every single Earth realm that is out there. I just call them Earth realms. You can call them planets or whatever you want to. Whenever they go through their depressurization process, and it is a process, it's cyclical, it happens all the time. Anyways, but that's the black hole. That's the black hole sun that opens up. You'll be able to see all the red plasma on the other side of it. That's the evil eye, etc. Next up on the list, we've got NASA's mission to collide with asteroid, sent a swarm of boulders into space. No kidding. What did you think was going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of, I like to slam on NASA since they like to slam on objects out there in space. NASA's lame to me. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan. I'm not one of those people that goes out and buys a NASA shirt at Walmart, walks around supporting my government who enslaves us and stuff like that. I don't do that. You can, if that's your thing, if you want to be, you know, all about NASA and stuff. I used to be. So I get that. And I'm not slamming on any of you. I am slamming on NASA. I do slam on things like government entities and whatnot from time to time. But they're sharing this with us like we're retarded. Okay, like, duh, no kidding. Like, this doesn't even need to be news. It doesn't even, I already know that if you allegedly, okay, the story goes, and I showed the video of this. What is this? Hey, be quiet. What are you doing? I don't want you to talk. Who is that dude? I don't even know. Get out of here with all that. What is this? I don't know what happened. Pause that dude. Anyways, yeah, if you blow up a rock, it's going to turn into littler, smaller rocks. No kidding, right? Like, it doesn't take an astronaut to figure that out. But anyways, NASA's mission. Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot, NASA, by the way. If your cosmology is correct and that you can just blast off into outer space and travel to all those worlds and all those planets and stuff, and you're out there playing asteroids, you don't even know where Earth is headed. Okay? You don't. It's uncharted. You have no idea. None of you. I've never heard anybody personally. Let me personalize this. I've never heard any human being in my entire experience in life say, yeah, the government totally knows where Earth is headed right now. They don't. According to their model, we're just randomly flying and spinning and wobbling and tilting and all this weird stuff, right? Around a huge fireball that's just darting through uncharted space. It's not like the sun is just sitting there not moving. Okay, it's moving at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. According to their model, according to what they teach in schools to your kids, by the way. So they have no idea where they're going, which is also why you can't time travel on their model. So if you're a time traveler or you're into that time travel stuff, okay, I hate to break it to you, it's impossible to do on a spinning, wobbling, tilting globuloid through uncharted territory. If you want to go into the future, if you want to go into the past, it could be possible because you would just have to keep an exact record of the exact coordinates of where you were exactly in time and space, calculating all 6 points. That's possible. I don't think it's probable. But if you want to go back in time, you possibly could do that. But if you want to get back to the present, you can't, because you can't go future. You can't go into the future, basically. The Earth is moving forward. So if you want to go from here to like 2,000 years from now, you have to have a destination. You have to have coordinates, and we don't have those. We're flying through uncharted territory, according to their model. We have no idea where we're going. So I don't know. I'm just venting about that. But yeah, good job, NASA, moving and adjusting a small asteroid into large, huge debris out there in space that eventually is going to, according to your model, slam into something, maybe another world filled with aliens that are way more advanced than we are, and they can reverse the trajectory and find out, oh, yeah, that Earth planet just tried to cause an apocalypse here in our world. You know, good job. Like, way to go. Out there screwing around, you know, shooting debris and trash out there into space. Like, dude, who do you people think you are? You know, like, you don't even vote for any of this stuff. I mean, I don't believe in voting. I think it's all garbage anyways. But, I mean, wow, they don't even ask any of you. How do you feel? Like, hey, is it okay if we go stick another satellite out there in orbit? Or, hey, is it okay with you if we go send more trash or shoot a car into space or whatever? You know what I mean? We don't have a say-so. They're just doing what they want. And then they impose all of their rules and regulations and stuff upon us, expecting us to do what they say, and they don't work for us. Like, they lie and say that they do. Anyways, that's enough of that. All right, the ocean is changing colors. This is huge. We're going to bring this up a few times. I brought it up last time, but this is such a huge omen. I can't stress this enough. The world is, what, 75% water, something like that on the surface? So this is going to have the pressure mixed with the changing of the ocean, the temperature changing, and all the things that are happening with the ocean because of the increase of heat in the waters is going to have some of the biggest effects on us. The ocean is changing green. It says right here it's becoming steadily green, or greener, it should say. Tropical waters near the equator have become steadily green, basically. They say over 50% of the Earth's oceans have changed from blue to green. And I believe it's because of the algae and the phytoplankton and stuff that are growing in the waters because of all the things that are dying off because of the increased heat in the jacuzzi ocean that we have. And all of that algae is growing, and we're starting to see it reflect the light that it reflects off of its pigment, which is green. Now, that algae will protect itself if it gets too hot or if it becomes too bright, or I should say too bright. Okay, I don't know if it's too hot, but when it becomes too bright, that algae, okay, has the ability to change to red. So it's going to go from green to red. The ocean will go from blue to green to red. Now, in times past, the ocean has actually been many different colors. If you take a look and use comparative mythology to check out some of our ancient legends and our myths about the colors of the ocean as it was described, in the old world, it was never, ever described as blue. Not once. It was described as red and being wine dark and black and even sometimes green in the past. But the past is returning, and the ocean is once again changing into green. And once again, it will change into red, and it will become like blood, and the creatures in the oceans will start dying off as it affects the food chain, and larger creatures will start dying off in mass, which I'll show you more of here in just a bit. They found a planet. Okay, this is a huge omen, okay, because I don't believe in, planets or whatever inside of our sky. Outside of the sky, way out there, yes. A planet is dramatically losing its atmosphere. So here's another omen that we should keep in mind of planets or realms or worlds that lose their atmosphere. This was shown to you in the Truth in Movies, in that movie Spaceballs, whenever they have the huge spaceship that turns into a Megamaid or whatever, puts the vacuum on Druidia and they suck out all the air. That is a cartoonified comic book version of the truth of what happens to our world. There is a physical part of the sky up there, and it opens up or blows out or whatever, and all of the pressure is released, and it creates a world storm, and all of the air and everything gets sucked up into it, exactly how they show you in Spaceballs. And so they're showing us this in the signs and the omens, where they talk about these planets dramatically losing their atmosphere and stuff like that, because that's our planet, that's our world. That will happen. I mean, it's many worlds out there, and it's inevitable. Okay, this is a part of the plasma apocalypse. Next up on the list, speaking of dead animals, just all over the place, right? Unfortunately, this sad little dead penguin picture. There's 2,000 of these that washed up on Uruguay's coast. A bird expert says that they cannot pinpoint a cause. This is happening so much right now. Okay, this should be huge. It should be all over the news. Unfortunately, they see all of these incidents of animals and fish and birds and walruses and sea lions and whatever else it is, okay, washing up onto shores by the thousands, just dead. They don't see them as being interconnected, and they are all interconnected. The life in the ocean is starting to die off. Right? And like I said, it's all connected, and it's a huge domino effect. Whenever the temperature of the water increases, whenever the sunlight increases and becomes brighter, and all that algae grows, and the water becomes hotter, and all the coral reefs start to die, and the whales start to die, and the sharks come in to feed on the whales, and then those start to die, and then more bacteria and stuff will start to feed on that. You'll have all these, a lot of fish are gonna die because they breathe the oxygen that's in the water. And whenever the water gets hot enough, the oxygen in the water dissolves out of it. So they suffocate. So you're going to see way more stories. I don't have a story right now because we talked about it like last week or the week before, of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of fish that will just start floating up to the surface. And then imagine what connection that will have. You know what I mean? When you have all these dead fish that rise to the surface, imagine all the different seabirds that are going to come around to feast on them. Imagine the diseases that will come about, and imagine what will happen to humans with all of this death and decay that is rotting and coming up into our atmosphere, and all of these chemicals that are being given off by red algae and red tide, the size of countries, you know what I mean? As it goes up into our atmosphere, and all these spores or whatever they are released into the atmosphere, and we breathe that in. Expect to see people, the next huge thing that will happen, okay, medically, is people having breathing problems, huge breathing problems, okay? People are not going to be able to breathe because of all of that crap that's being released from the oceans up into our atmosphere, and we breathe it in, okay? So just be super careful. I'm super serious about that. Next up, we've got Barbie. So check this out. This is right behind me. I'm actually going to scooch the screen a bit. Hold on. I want to make it so everybody can see this one. This is a Titanic Barbie. I will tell you this is CGI. Also, one sec. Where is it? There it is. Oh, I could just move it. Can I move it? Yes, I can. All right, cool. So let's check out this video of this Barbie. This is in Dubai. Okay, the Burj Khalifa, this huge tower right here, which is a type of Mount Meru. They totally make this into the blue beam. Like often, they put lights on it and stuff. But there's a company that made this CGI. It totally looks real. I'll play you the video right now. This is like to celebrate the new Barbie movie, which I will not be breaking down. Okay, it's not in me to want to watch that movie. So I know a lot of people have asked me to break down the Barbie movie. I probably won't. I'm just going to tell you right now. But what we see here is a sign and an omen of titans, of gigantism returning to our world. This isn't real. This is done on a computer, allegedly. I don't know, but they say it was done on a computer, right? And it looks super realistic. I mean, this is an omen and a sign in and of itself with the technology that we have and how anything will be possible, which is one of the omens of ancient history in the story of the Tower of Babel. Speaking of babbling, am I good? Okay, good. All right. I just want to double check. So anyways, back during the Tower of Babel in the Bible, there's a story of the Tower of Babel. The gods, or the Elohim, looked down upon mankind, and they were worried because they said, wow, they're getting to the point where anything that they wish to do, anything that they think of, they can achieve it, which made them dangerous because they weren't worthy. They were not deemed worthy to do, to have access to this type of technology because they haven't proven themselves, basically. Okay, like if we collectively can prove that we're responsible, that we create technology and we use it for good and to add to the world, and that it doesn't always turn on its head and become a nuisance and a problem and actually end up hurting people in the long run, right? Anyways, in the Tower of Babel, which you're looking at, like a version of that right there, the Elohim looked down at mankind and they decided that they were going to create an apocalypse to wipe people off the face of the world. Because anything that they set their mind to, they could do, and that was a dangerous thing, right? This is an example of that. We can make it look like there's real stuff on the television screen, and technology is right around the corner to make it look like this is really in real life. It's called augmented reality. People can get contact lenses that are actually microchipped little computers, basically, and they'll have augmented reality. They'll be able to see their entire world, and they won't need goggles. They won't need any of that stuff, and it's possible that they could augment reality, the brain. Okay, if you want to go further than just, you know how like people are talking about putting microchips in their brain and stuff. I'm not doing that, but you know, there's a lot of. I guess there's some people that are really interested in doing that, and they already have, and they're like, oh, it's to help paraplegics so that they can use the computer or whatever. Nah, sorry, they're not developing super advanced technology to help paraplegics. I'm sorry. Like, they will tell you that so that you support their cause, but that's not why they're doing it. You know that. I know that. Anyways, so this is gigantism. The omen behind this is that one day we will have the Titans return to this world. Okay, as we make it past the apocalypse, you will eventually procreate and have children and stuff when you're able to again, and those children will grow way larger than you are. Okay, your children will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and they will become gigantic and titanic in nature. Not as strong. Those, I mean, we tend to associate being huge and gigantic with being super strong and stuff like that, but we're the ones that will actually have super strength, and I talk about that in a lot of my Plasma Apocalypse stuff too. Let's see what else we got here. Giant Barbie. Oh, Mayor Giuliani has said something I found to be interesting. He says, a criminal, right, all these people are criminals. A criminal should not be in the White House. Giuliani suggests that a guilty Trump should be disqualified for, running for president or whatever, right? I don't care. I hate politics. I don't, I know of this guy right here. Okay. I don't care who he is. I don't care who he's the mayor of or the government of or whatever. None of them. They're puppets. They're regular losers to me personally. I don't like them, but whatever. But it's interesting that he says, and this is in the news all over the place, a criminal should not be in the White House. Well, yeah, a criminal shouldn't be leading people, right? All of these governments are criminal, like, what do you call, not gangs, but like mafias, or, they're gangs, basically. And they rule the world, okay? They're in control, and they have people who are in control of them. The hidden hand that you don't know about them. But anyway, this is a prophecy in many religions where it talks about one of the signs you should look for is that the leaders of the world will all be corrupt, that there will not be a good one among them. Okay. So like the goodness of the world is quickly dwindling. So if you're one of those people that has a remnant of that good vibe in you, or love or genuineness, if you don't know, by the way, I strongly encourage you to do a self-eval. Check yourself all the time. Admit when you make mistakes and ask people to forgive you and make amends and try to add back to the world and pick up and keep going and keep trying and keep growing, right? Because it's rare these days that anybody thinks that they mess up. Okay. Everyone is correct these days in their own minds. They're all fighting for their own beliefs and their own agendas, and they all think that they have the best interest of the rest of the world. But if we look at their actions, which prove their energy, what kind of energy is inside, okay? They're hidden by a mask, which is called this body right now. But you can see what kind of entity they really are on the inside. And the good news is, if you have any toxicity in your soul or your spirit, you got plenty of time left, or you have some time left, I should say. Okay. I switched my screen, so it's over here now. It's weird. I'm looking on that side. You got some time left. Okay. The end has not happened yet. So you can change. You can change. You can choose different actions. You can. Okay. You can take strides. You can make small choices or large ones. You have the freedom to choose whatever you do with your body and your life and your actions, where you go, what you say, and especially what comes out of your mouth, what you focus on in your mind. I'm doing self-talk. Okay, this is me. I'm talking to myself right now. This is all for me. But I feel like many of you are similar. Okay, we vibe at a similar frequency, so you've probably needed to hear that too. All right, it's not too late. You can change. You can work on yourself and become beautiful again. All right, and I'm not just speaking about physically, right? I'm speaking about your energy, your soul, which basically, if your soul is right, it will reciprocate with the body and everything else. Okay, so anyways, enough of that tangent. Next up, we got Florida's Manatee Bay. Back to the heat records in the world. Manatee Bay records 101 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Sorry if you're over there in the Celsius world. I don't do Celsius. All right. I mean, it's not a preference. That's just how I was taught. And unfortunately, over here in America, they don't care about Celsius and kilograms and kilowatts and anything that starts with killa. All right. Kilobees. Anyways, they don't care about all that. So they don't teach us that, unfortunately. I got to Google it. So when I watch YouTube videos and they're like, oh, it's about 40 degrees Celsius in Phoenix. Can you believe it? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It sounds cold, bro. I don't know. But it's hot. Okay, it's super hot. I'm just joking. But anyways, this is the ocean. Look at this. Look at it. See all that red? That's just bad. Okay, that's bad. That's not a good omen. Okay, the water's getting hot. 101 degrees. People have their hot tubs at that temperature. This is not good. And that's right where the Atlantic current comes in, which the movie, I might have to do the day after tomorrow. I might do that one next because it seems appropriate in the time that we live in. That movie's coming true. quickly, happening now. Okay. And I'm like that dude, I don't know the actor's name, but I'm like that climatologist dude who has Jake Gyllenhaal for his son. And I'm screaming to the world to pay attention and to get ready. Okay. Not to like do something. I feel like the tipping point's passed. I mean, that's just me. And maybe it's not. Okay. But there's things we can do collectively, not individually, but collectively to postpone the apocalypse, which I have hinted at many times, but I'm not seeing it happening, and I'm not trying to take away your hope or anything like that, but I'm just saying. This one's cool, so let's end it on a positive vibe. Sort of. A video of a whale appearing to ask for humans to remove parasites went viral, right? Because it's nice to see something nice in the world, something kind, you know, people helping animals instead of leaving their horses in 105-degree weather at the gas station to microwave. Whoever that guy is, man, just anyways, it's nice to see something kind. But look how they spin it. And then they're like, an expert, whoever that might be, one expert, so one person that considers himself to be an expert, says that tourists are hurting the creatures, not helping them. Bro, let's watch this video. Let's watch this video. If it has it. I hope it has it. Let's check this out. That is not it. What is this? This is some sea monster being eaten by freaking... What is this? What did I just click on? Oh my god, look at all these little tentacles. Look at that fish is like, no. Did you see that fish? Hold on, let me go back. Check it. Look at how this fish get close to that octopus and it's like, oh, nah, F that. Look at all those octopi eating that sea monster looking whale carcass or whatever that is. I don't know what that is, man, but that's something. But that's not what I wanted to check out. Where's the other one? Here it is. It's a picture. Now look at her, right? This girl wants to hug the whale. Okay? She wants to hug this thing, which looks like a rock. This might be the video. I don't know if that's a video. Hold on, let me see. I think that's the video. Let me click on that bad boy. See what happens. The whale stuck its head out of the water and then appeared to let the boat's captain pick parasites off of its body. These are called barnacles. While it span around as cheering tourists watched on. Why can't I see this? Is this just bad camera angle? Lift up the camera! I don't know. Let me see. This is a terrible camera angle. Hold on, this is just poor. Hold on. This isn't like cropped or something. Let me see if we can make it big. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it. Anyway, hold on. Let me see if I can get that. I want to see this video. I'm going to do, hold on. Video of a whale. There we go. Let's see if they have it somewhere else. Let's try this one. Here's the whale. This is what they look like. They look like rocks are growing on them, right? Let's see. Turn off the ad blocker. Blah, blah. No, I'm good. Let's just pick a different website. This might be it. Let's check it out. I hope I could find it because it's really cool to check out, honestly. I mean, I thought it was cool. We noticed you're using an ad blocker. Let's just continue with my ads or whatever. Or ad blocker. No video. They don't have the video? That's too bad. I really wanted to show this video. I might have to, I'll look for it for next week and I'll be sure to come back to this one. So this has a lot of cool pictures, right? You can see the dude, I don't know why he's wearing a mask on the ocean. Maybe that's a thing. But he reaches down, he's helping this whale, man. The whale comes up to him. And some people understand what animals are saying. Okay, this is exactly like the movie Avatar Part 2. If you've seen that, by the way, this happens in Avatar Part 2. And they're like, oh, they're trying to say that this hurts the whale. All right, the whale came up and asked for help, allows this dude to like pick all these barnacles off of its face, basically, to get all these. Look at this. Oh, here it is right here. Check it out. Oh, how cool. All right. Hi, whale. All right. I love this whale. So the whale comes right up to the boat. It's not trying to knock it over. It's not trying to hurt anybody. You know what I mean? And this, you can almost sense a smile. Watch. I'm going to show you this whale's like smiles. This dude's picking off and he's talking to it. He's like, come here. I'm trying to help you, you know? This happens. This same thing happens in a cartoonified version in Avatar Part 2. Okay? Whales are a huge part of Avatar Part 2. I love whales personally. See, look at it. He gives it a pat and stuff. He's being friendly. Now, if the whale was being injured and the whale's like, ow, ow. This also happens in sea beast, by the way. So look at all those nasty parasites that are growing on it, right? So the whale spins around. It's all happy. It sticks its little whale face like a dog. Okay, this is like a puppy out there in the ocean, right up to the dude, and it's like, here, get this part, here, get my back. And it's like, it's allowing this to happen. If this whale was in so much pain as they claim, they're like, those barnacles can grow really deep in the whale skin and it's tender and it really hurts them. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't help animals. You shouldn't help it out. You could look at it. You could tell. I don't know. Okay, I sense this. This is me. This is my personal sensation. This is a happy whale. Okay, this whale is happy that humans have done this. And humans used to do this with whales. I pulled up ancient maps and stuff like that show us humans riding on the backs of whales. Whales gave humans rides, and not just whales, but other sea monsters and stuff that are friendly type of phantazoids. But we have images of these. People didn't just lie on ancient maps that they drew and were commissioned from royalty and nobility under the penalty of death, not to mention their reputation, because this is how they made a living. They didn't just lie on ancient maps and just, oh, you know, it'd be fun if I put people riding on the back of a whale. You know, like, they didn't do that. They didn't make stuff up. They wrote reality. They wrote exactly how it was happening. Anyways, this is a happy whale. All right, I almost want to watch it again. Look at this. They're smiling right there. Come on. That whale is not in any kind of pain, dude. All right. This exact same thing happens when the whale asked for help in Avatar because it had something lodged into it. Same thing happens in the movie Sea Beast. There's probably more examples than that. We can coexist. Okay. Like, God, man, I get so emotional. I got so many emotions going on. We can coexist, all right, with the animals. We've taken advantage of them, and they're pissed off collectively, and they're getting more and more agitated. You know, some of that's just the pressure and stuff in the world. But the animal kingdom is going to take the world back over, okay? It's not going to be humans in zoos or humans with zoos. It'd be humans in zoos, in little safe zones and little safe areas in the world, because the animals are going to procreate after the apocalypse and stuff. Plus, there'll be phantazoids and stuff like that come on in. And that is let's end it with little happy whale. I like the little happy whale. Let me see if I can make that a little smaller. Nah, that's fine. Yeah, look at him. He's a happy little whale. He's like, oh yeah, get that one too. Oh yeah, get that one. You know what I mean? They're trying to say, don't do this. That's like them saying, don't touch the cave. When you ever go on a cave, you ever go spelunking, or you go into a cave system like the Grand Canyon or some government approved cave, they close off hundreds of other caves and they leave one open to the public, and they make sure that they have a babysitter there to take you on a tour inside the cave. And one of the first things they say is, don't touch the cave walls. It's really delicate. It's a delicate cave. Like, are you serious, dude? Nah, the cave's not delicate, okay? It's a big old fat rock. It's earth. It's been there for thousands of years. It stood the test of time. Trust me, the cave ain't going anywhere just because you touch it, all right? They're like, oh, it'll stop making stalactites that are so beautiful. Get out of here. Okay, they don't want you to receive energy from the earth, which is what the ancient prophets and priests and seers and whatnot did. They went into vast cavernous systems that still have some of that inner earth energy residually flowing through it, right? And they would touch the walls and they would breathe it all in and stuff. I'm not just referring to gases. I'm talking more about the ionized gases in the form of plasma and stuff. And they would receive messages. This is exactly the Oracle of Delphi and stuff, right? They don't want that happening. They don't want you getting some premonition from the earth, or, you know what I mean? Messages from Mother Earth or whatever. They don't touch the cave. Don't touch the whales. Whales are genius smart, right? And unfortunately, they're hunted and killed because of their body parts, you know, just like mammoths and just like so many other animals. But anyways, hey, the good news is I like to see stuff like this, okay? I like to see humans getting along, humans reaching out and recognizing that it's not just an animal, but that's my brother whale. That's my friend whale. That's my squirrel friends, or you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call them. I like that perspective a lot more than just seeing them as dumb beasts or animals or whatever. All right. Enough of that. That was our presentation for today. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. Looks like there's a bunch of people still in here. A lot of people having sweet conversation in the chat. I have to go finish my laundry. Thank you so much to whoever sent me this message, and you drew a little horse on there. I have no idea who it is. It was totally anonymous. But I just, man, thank you. Thank you. Like, all of your sentiments, and this is for everybody in the comments too. You know, people who have emailed me. There's many people who send me little emails or messages in their donations. And I do try to keep a lot of those anonymous because I don't know if people, you know, want a shout out or not. So I just keep a lot of the messages anonymous. But this one, man, this one made my day. Thank you so much. All right. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
Cool.